Welcome to your home.
We get that all the time. I think because we live here,
Yeah.
it's so normal to us. And we're always like, oh, you know, we need to upgrade or add some color or do some things. But then somebody walks in, they're like, oh my God, we love it. We're like, yeah, move in.
I've been to your home.
Have you seen my chandelier? Okay.
I have seen your chandelier. I've been to your home, I don't know how many times now.
Yes.
And every time, like literally the walk up to your door. Like I anticipate that
so
walk. No, but it's getting there. And sometimes I'm just standing there like, this is so beautiful.
I mean, just look at
it's
the
so
door.
beautiful. But then I know you have a camera and you're seeing me, and then it's
We
just,
do, and you
just
saw this
weird
one,
and
yeah,
creepy
yeah.
for me to just be standing there. So then I have to
Look at the door, and you know. But yeah,
If you
welcome
didn't
to my home.
already gather,
Yeah.
I'm speaking to this camera. If you didn't already gather, we're in Catherine's home. It's beautiful, beautiful home,
you.
beautiful lady, and I'm so excited. And of course, I had to wear my favorite. Kayla
Thank
K.
you.
Yes, this is my favorite.
I know it is, because I've seen it.
You see where it-
Yeah, but it looks beautiful on you. The
I
colors,
love
the
it.
style, the cut.
I love all of them.
Yes.
But this is just, you know
Okay,
how you
and
love all your
purchased many.
children.
Let's be honest. You've been a great supporter of mine. I really appreciate it.
You know,
And that's
especially the husband might be watching this.
fine. You're supporting, so thank you so much.
No, I love it.
appreciate
I love
Thank
the
you.
brand. I love the quality. I love the design. And so let's
you.
just start there. So
Yes.
first of all, who are you? Who are you?
Catherine Addai, previously a decision support consultant in healthcare, and now the creative director, owner, boss lady of Kayla K.
How did Kayla K come about?
Boy, the name specifically, so Kayla is named after my daughter Michaela, and Kay is named after myself. My husband, when we first started dating, he used to call me Kay, short for Catherine. So when I had Michaela a few years ago and I was on mat leave, I used to put her in her bassinet next to my sewing machine, and the sound of the machine would put her to sleep. So when I was coming up with the name of the line, I said, you know, and at the time we didn't have the other children, I said, you know, when I first started, it was just me and you together, late at night, working on pieces together. So fittingly, it should be, initially it was Kayla and Kay, and then I dropped the and it became Kayla and Kay, mommy and me, Michaela and I, and she knows that too, she knows the story.
And let's go back even further. How did you even get into design? Was this something you're always interested in, or how did that come about?
No, my mom bought me a sewing machine because she wanted me to hem some pants for her. I love you, Mom. No, I've always been into fashion in the sense of I always had a lot of clothes, right? And I think from a young age, I always had a certain aesthetic that was a little bit different even from my friends growing up. So when I graduated from university and my husband and I started dating, he took me into this world. It was this African scene. I mean, prior to that, I wasn't really involved in the community as much. So I started to get really involved in the clothes and the prints, and they were beautiful, and all the young girls were wearing them. And I did have a seamstress at the time sewing my clothes for me. She's my aunt, but I was always at the bottom of her list when things were needed to get made. And I was so frustrated one time. I was going out. I had given her this fabric for over a month. It wasn't ready. So I was talking to my mom, and she's like, well, just sew it yourself. And I was like, Mommy, I don't know. Like, I've never sewn before. It'll take so much time. Bought me a machine. She goes, while you're at it, hem some pants for me. I said, okay, no problem, Mom. So
Make yourself useful.
Make yourself useful. If this is going to go anywhere, at least do something for me. I bought a pattern from Fabricland and a book called Sewing 101.
Oh, wow.
And I cut up the pattern, figured it out. It took me a whole month to make my first outfit for a wedding that my husband and I were attending together. But when I walked into that room, and I still remember, and I even have the picture of the dress still, I still remember everybody went, I said, oh, maybe I have something here. Just maybe. And the style was different. I know it wasn't what the girls were wearing, it wasn't what the women were wearing, and it was a mixed print, which I'm very known for too in the brand, and was a mix of prints, and it just really stood out. And from then, I started making things for friends of mine. Facebook became a really big deal. Friends were posting on Facebook, people were emailing me, messaging me, you know, do you custom make? And at first, I was like, no, you know, I'm just trying to figure things out, get my feet wet, so I'm not taking any customers right now, I'm just sewing for friends. So once I felt comfortable enough to do that, then I started taking on clients. So I actually started out Kayla K as a custom sewing business before I launched the line.
Oh, wow.
I used to do all the sewing myself late at night. And then when I was on mat leave with Michaela, I officially decided, you know what, let me put a few pieces together, maybe some friends and some family members. My mom will buy
Your mom will buy
My
one.
mom will buy something. It was 5 pieces. It was shot downtown, Chinatown. And we put it up on the internet, and
The rest is
The rest
history.
is history.
Now let's talk about something that you just said, and even just what you're wearing. And I, as you said, have quite a lot of your pieces. And one of the things I love is anytime I wear one of your pieces, guaranteed, people who know or who are around this will always come up and say, oh, that's a Kayla K.
Yeah.
Right? They will always say that. What is it that makes you want to mix? And you're not afraid to mix prints, to mix colors. Where does that come from?
You know, I think it really comes from wanting to stand out. I still remember that first outfit that I made and the reaction I got in that room. And I said, not even just for myself, but for women who want to stand out, how can I make them be the center of attention in that room? So when you're wearing Kayla K, I'm sure you know, because the print is so bright and bold, you can't be afraid. It's not something you wear because you want to be modest. You wear it because you really want to stand out. You want to start a conversation. How many times have I worn something, people come up to me and, oh my God, you know, where'd you get that? What is it? And it really just started a conversation. And I love mixing prints because it's just, it at the time when I started, it wasn't being done as much. And it's just, that's being extra super creative. And a part of me couldn't decide which prints to use because I like them all. So well, how can how can I put them all together with stripes and solids, you know, to really make the brand and the aesthetic different as well, so that it is recognizable. When people do see it, they know, oh, I know that's a Kayla K piece. Yeah.
And for you, what would you say is your personal style? Because you talked about how you had lots of clothes.
Yes.
And what's your style?
I am modern, demure, sexy. Now, what that is you probably never catch me wearing anything above my knees, because that's not my style. It's usually at the knees or a little bit longer, but the way the outfit is cut is still a bit sexy. It leaves a bit to the imagination. You're trying to figure it out, but it's also very demure, but it's very modern. You know, the styles are super modern, so that's probably what my style is and what, you know, the brand is kind of built around, where you don't have to show a lot to be sexy. Sometimes being covered up can be sexy if the cut is right.
Now, let's go back. You talked at the very beginning about how you had a previous job and a previous life. What was that? What did you do before?
Oh, so that thing.
Back then.
I have a degree in health sciences, health mathematics, and business / computer science, and a certificate in writing. Yes. I graduated from Western University with a degree in health information management. Yes, Western. Shout out. And I graduated, I knew I wanted to be in the healthcare field. My mother was a nurse for many, many years. I actually wanted to go to dental school, but, you know, squashed that once I got into school. And I've always loved technology. So trying to figure out a way to marry that with being in healthcare, and that degree allowed me to do that. So when I graduated, I got a job as a health information analyst, which is a lot of stats and analyzing reports and reporting back to the ministry, to executives, what's happening with the money, what we're doing with funding and things like that. So I worked in that industry, oh my goodness, 10 years? 10 years.
A long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah. And all that time, you didn't really know you had it in you to be a designer. So it really was when you were on mat leave with Kayla that the idea came to you.
I mean, I swore I was gonna, you know, on the corporate ladder, I'm gonna work my way up, become a manager, you know, kind of see where that. So I had no intentions of becoming a fashion designer. And then, of course, lo and behold, I meet this wonderful man who exposes me to this world. We have this wonderful child. I'm home. I'm loving the prince. You know, I'm being able to now put my personal style in a way where it translates to other women, because it's kind of their personal style too, and they relate to it and they understand it and they want to wear it. I'm like, oh, you want to wear my style? That's great. But then, of course, they take it and flip it and turn it into their own personal style too, right? So no, it wasn't until many years later when I was in the industry where, you know, I got this itch, which I kind of fell into, and then over the years slowly have grown it into this wonderful, wonderful beast.
So I met you back when you were still kind of, you had one foot in the old job and you were kind of doing the designing. Describe the process for me of how you went from, okay, I have a regular day job. Okay, now I'm on mat leave and I'm designing. Oh, now I've gone back to my regular day job, but I'm also doing this on the side too. Now I have this global company that is making gorgeous designs. What was that journey for you?
Exhausting. You know, everybody's entrepreneurial journey is different. And there are days when I think, oh, had I known this about myself earlier, what decision would I have made, pre-university and, going into school. But I have to be grateful for the way things rolled out and the way things unfolded. And you're right, so I was working for many years, had my hand in this. Even while working, it was something I loved to do. In the beginning, I never thought it could be a business. Or, because I never thought of myself as a businesswoman because I've never been in that environment or, had the opportunity. I make clothes, I sell them online, people buy them, I ship it out, I go to pop-ups, But it wasn't until, so I had Kayla, started the collection even then, but when I had Janae, so our last born, who's now 16 months, and I said to my husband, honey, we've talked about this for so long. We've been talking about this for many years, about me making that leap. And the reason we talked about it for so long was because I've been doing double that work, and it was exhausting.
Exhausting, like just doing the work is exhausting. Yeah. And you have 3 children.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So 3 children and a husband.
Let's not forget the husband.
And a husband. And so I realized that it was impeding on my work-life balance. And I wanted, as my kids were growing, I needed to be there for them more. I need to be there for my husband more. I needed to be there for myself more and for the business more. So that's when my mind really started to flip from I make clothes to sell to, I have a business that's profitable because I've had all these years to really crunch the numbers and to be on different platforms and meet different people to know that I can make this a full time. So what is it that I need to do? Well, the first thing I need to do is quit my job. We've crunched our numbers. We know it's going to work. My husband was the one that said, whatever you decide, I will follow you. You take the leap, I will follow you. Because we know it's going to work out. He's like, I need you to be here for us. I need you to be here for yourself and for your business. And if you've worked full-time and focused on this company full-time and you've been able to grow it to this extent, imagine if you're only focusing on the business, how far can you really take it? So that's when I started to put people in place. And I mentioned to you earlier now, I fully have an accountant, I have a bookkeeper, I have a brand manager, I have a customer service manager now. So I have people around me who allowed me the security to say, I can take that leap and I cannot go back to my 9 to 5. And my years there were great. And it was a hard decision for me to decide to leave. But when I was coming off of mat leave, I knew rain or shine, hell, high water, something had to happen. I couldn't go back there. Not because of anything there. I just needed to make that final decision to make that leap and focus on the brand full time. At least I can say I tried it.
What's been the biggest surprise for you of being an entrepreneur?
Oh my goodness. So just to kind of piggybacking on what I just said, now that I'm doing this full time, how did I have time to do anything else? I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how I work full time, take care of the kids, everything else around the house, and still had time. There were many times I thought I was losing my mind, because there's just so much going on. So that's probably has been it. Like, oh my God, how do I find time to even manage all these moving parts? But it's as a result of having a really, really great support system and a really great team that I'm still continuing to build.
And where do you see the team going? Where do you see the brand going?
Man, so we have some great plans ahead without giving away too much.
We don't even get the inside scoop.
Oh my God, okay. When I started the brand, kind of fell into it. But then there's a time where I really had to stop and think, okay, what do I want out of this? I don't want just to make clothes. So what I want is a certain narrative. And I want the narrative to be all women, all shapes, all sizes, nationalities, background, to be able to wear the pieces, to be able to identify and find themselves in it, whether it's because they want to support, whether it's because, they like the prints, like the colors, they like the silhouettes, whatever it is. And I want them to know they're buying into a story. You're buying into a brand. You're not just buying into a piece of garment that you're going to put in the back of your closet. You're buying into something that has longevity. So when you get the piece, even, to our packaging and, so when you get the piece, you know what the story is about, you know who Kayla K is. And going forward, we're hoping to expand our production. And when I say expand our production, taking it back home. That's always been very important to me, but for reasons of me being type A and having to have eyes and everything, so far our production here has worked. We're trying to figure out now how we can support the women back home. So we've been connected with some organizations that we're looking into. Support the country back home, even where we get our fabrics from. Making sure that we change that narrative. So we support African artisans. We support, the mills and people who produce the fabrics. So in terms of production, that's what we're looking to do. And I'm trying to branch out into more stores and make it beyond global, if that's, even possible, so that it's, people can go and pick it up without having to order online. I know fitting is an issue sometimes. Yep. I want to touch, I want to feel, I want to try it on. Well, no problem. Go to, this boutique here in your country, in your city, you can go and try it on. So that's something we're trying to overcome. So there are a few cities that we are in right now, and we're trying to expand into Europe, and of course back home into Africa, and just trying to continue to build that team. There are a few gaps that I'm still filling right now that we're trying to get the right people in. And the biggest thing for me at the basis of it all is to support women. So 95% of people on my team that I work with are African women.
It's exciting.
It is exciting.
That is
and
it's
exciting. Amazing that I guess you don't know who's out there and what skills and talent they have until you're actually looking for somebody. Mm. And then the right people just come your way and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know you existed. And you're great, and you're a perfect fit, and you're a Black woman, and you're African, and it's wonderful. Or you're a woman, and and you're supporting, and it's great. So just trying to fill those gaps and make Kayla K really, really global, and continue to not just make it about the clothes, but make it about the story and the history and why you're, where your clothes are made, and justifying all of that.
Now, that's one of the things that I know and that you say on your website is the fact that Kaela Kay is not just about African print, which I loved. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, we're very proud of African print, and yes, African prints are a big part of what you do and how you design. Why was that important for you to make that distinction that it's not just about African print?
Because I want non-Africans to feel comfortable wearing the brand. I want them to know, if you want to wear Kayla K, again, it's a global citizen brand. So, you can go ahead and do that. I am African. I'm a proud African woman, and I want to show the roots and the history through the prints. But I'm also a designer, and I love working with prints in general and colorful prints. So, I primarily work with African prints, but where I mix it with non-African prints or mix it with stripes, it elevates it for me to a level that's more identifiable for a wider range of women from a variety of nationalities. And it's important for me for people to feel comfortable when they're wearing the pieces.
Now let's talk about the pieces. Yes. And you've had, how many years now have you been in business?
5.
So you've had at least 5 collections.
Yes.
What goes into collection? How do you even start thinking about a collection?
I'm actually getting ready to put together my summer collection now, so that's exciting. We're shooting in a few weeks. It's changed over the years. So in the beginning, my first collection was really about, what do I want to wear, right? So what does Catherine want to wear? And that came off of people asking me all the time, where do you get your clothes from? So it's okay, my first collection really is going to be based off of my style, my aesthetic, and kind of let's see how people gravitate towards that. And that evolved into, okay, kind of what are the trends now? What are, not even so much larger fashion trends, but what are women wearing? What do women want to wear? So I go to a lot of pop-up shops and trade shows, or when I open my home to customers to come in, I listen to what they're looking for. I listen to where they're going. I listen to what they want to where they're going, whether it's to work, whether it's to a wedding reception, to a party, wherever they're going, and what's the gap in their style that I can fill, right? I mean, you're initially coming to Kayla K for a certain aesthetic anyway, but okay, so now on top of that now, what are the women looking to wear? And then what are the trends? Color, I don't pay so much attention to, because you know how prints are. They're bright any season, and that's what I've wanted to show people as well. You can wear prints any season, all year round. And through the prints and the colors that I choose, I'm really hoping that women understand that it's not just a summer thing. It's not just for the spring, it's not just for weddings. You can wear a print coat in the fall and make it look really chic, depending how you style and how you pair it up. So the collection is a combination of what's trending, what are women looking to wear, What prints am I gravitating towards that I think, other women will gravitate towards as well. Thankfully, I have an eye for that. I guess, it's part of being a designer. It's part of the job, I guess. And then kind of, in my mind, putting those pieces and those elements together, sketching things out, throwing papers away, going back to the drawing board, sketching again, and then putting the sketch to the pattern, to certain details. And here we go.
And how long does it typically take you from inception to when you're thinking about what the collection's going to be to when you're actually, it's on the runway?
On the runway. So I start thinking about the next collection when we're shooting like the previous collection. And literally that's how the mind has to work, right? And as a designer, I'm always wanting to put out new things. So I'm always sketching, which is great because then when it's time for a collection, I have a roster of sketches to go back to and say, is there anything in there that's going to work for the current collection, for the current season? But if, probably at least for me 2 to 3 months, just to get my mind wrapped around everything, to find all the fabrics, to get the styles together, to get the sketches together, meet with the production team, lay things out, make sure there's no issues with, in terms of what they need to do with, because sometimes I have some styles and they're like, that might not translate well, it's a little too fussy. So, having time to deal with all of that, probably about 2 to 3 months, which is just about the time for another collection to come out anyway. How
many collections do you do a year?
Last year I did 3, I did 4 last year. I know. So usually I do a spring, a summer, a fall, winter, and a holiday collection.
Ooh. Yeah, I loved the holiday collection.
Thank you. Thank you, darling.
Yeah.
And last year was doubly because I also launched a Mommy and Me line last year.
Yes. Tell me about that. What was behind you wanting to launch the Mommy and Me collection?
Again, I still do custom sewing. And I was doing a lot of custom sewing for moms and their girls. And I said, I'm a mom and I have a little girl. And whenever Michaela and I wear pieces together and we post it, people love it. There's something about that authenticity and that cohesion that people really gravitate towards. And I've always wanted to put together a little kids collection. So I just needed a reason to. So I said last year was perfect. It was on the heels of resigning from my corporate job. We had a fabulous launch party to celebrate that and to celebrate the fall collection. I said, it would be a great time to launch a Mommy and Me collection. And moms came out with their daughters and they came shopping. It was a runway show. It was beautiful. So yeah, it was just the right time to do it last year. And something that we're trying to do, once a year.
CNN named you.
Yes, they did.
One of the hottest designers.
They did.
How did that happen? Tell me about it. How did it happen? How did you feel? For someone who's been in business 5 years.
And that was like on the heel of when I had just launched. This was a couple of years ago. And I got an email randomly one afternoon saying, it was a rep saying, we're putting together a list of fashion designers, African wear fashion designers. And if you're interested, just send us a quick bio and, we'll see if we can put you on the list. There wasn't even a guarantee, we'll see. And I'm like, okay, I thought it was a joke. And my husband's like, well, her handle says CNN, so she must work for CNN. Just, give it a shot. You never know. Sent in the information to send in, sent in a few pictures, and then this article comes out, and I was like, what? So so from my understanding, they had a roster of designers. I think they read everybody's bio and kind of looked at everybody's pictures and had got a sense of people's history and then picked that short list of designers. I can't remember, maybe there were 10 of us, maybe less than 10 of us. And it was, I was one of them. And to this day, it's CNN mentioned Kayla K. It's great to be recognized for your brand and your aesthetic and your story.
Right.
And it's great. It was great then because it said, up and coming and you need to watch her. And at the time that made me nervous because I just launched. Now they're going to be watching me. It needs to be great. Right? And when you're starting something new, you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know 5, 10 years from now if you're even going to still be in the industry, if you're going to be doing what you're doing. So for me to now 5 years in still be doing it, I said, you know what? I didn't let anybody down. They watched me, and
that's not your only accolade, because I know the African Fashion Council of Canada also named you one of their best designers.
Twice. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, I did win. I won Designer of the Year award twice. And they also organize Africa Fashion Week Toronto. So I've been on their runway about 3 times. And they're a great organization, just doing a lot of great things in the community. So I was really pleased to be honored by them and, amongst my other, peers in the community. So, yeah.
And you've also showed at Africa Fashion Week in New York.
I did a few years ago, also when I was first starting out. And that was a great experience because a really good exposure to the New York scene. Because, New York is fashion, So, of course, I was super nervous. I remember that show. I was super nervous. It was my first big runway show. So I think it was the show even before I did Africa Fashion Week Toronto. And wanting to make sure the hair and the models and the clothes and everything's right. I'm steaming and over steaming. And I remember at the end of the show, it was my first time going out on a catwalk and everybody was up. And I was just like, oh my God.
And you kill. If I may just say, I've seen your runway shows, and when you come down, you're walking sometimes even better than any of those models are. I'm like, you go, Catherine.
I watch them. I've been watching models for a long time. Maybe secretly in my past life, that's what I really wanted to do. But thank you. No, you know what? I know a lot of designers shy behind the scenes. I love being in front of the cameras and I love being out there and I love people to see who the woman is behind the brand. I think it really helps to pull together the vision. And I know people have said, when they meet me, when they see me, they understand and they get it. And it makes it even easier for them to identify. And I want people to see when they see me that, it's as fabulous as the clothes are. That's how I portray it. I portray it because that's really what it is, and it really is a story. It really is me. It really is my life. It really is a lifestyle, that I'm sharing with you guys. So I love being on that stage. They always say to me, do you want to walk out with a model? And I'm like, no, I will walk out alone, thank you. Just cue the music.
And that's one thing that I will say about your brand, Catherine, is I've had the opportunity to have known you for a little while and to see, and I've been around you often enough that there's no faking it. Like what people see is you. Like just that joy, that fabulousness.
Oh,
like it just is, it's you. And was that a conscious decision for you to really infuse yourself in the brand?
It was. And again, I think for me, because I started designing clothes for myself that I would wear, and that's when people started to notice, it was easier for me to continue designing because I was designing with that same mentality. Well, they like your clothes, so design you. Because they're gonna, and then as the brand grew and went on, that's when it was, okay, people want to see you. They want to know you and they want to get to know you. So when you're imaging and your branding and your stories that you share, be authentic and just be yourself and share the beauty, share the craziness, share the highs, the lows, the joys, everything that comes along with running the business. So people can really see that it is your heart and your soul in this garment.
What's been the biggest challenge or some of the lows that you've experienced so far in running the business?
Wow. In the beginning, I would have to say probably financial because I didn't have that knowledge and that background. So simple things like pricing or, how to, kind of get financial support or how to budget or target or make sure you hit, certain sales goals. And so that was a bit of a challenge aside from running a business in general because you just don't have, that area of expertise. And then in the beginning also doing everything myself. One, because you didn't have the means to pay anyone to do it. Two, you're in this bubble, so you don't even know that somebody who has the skills that you need exists, that you can find, that you can go to, who happens to be another person just like you. So once those things got cleared up, and then as I've gotten a bit older and kind of grown the brand, it's been just the company you keep, just along the way, and just making sure that I surround myself with people who understand and share the vision and support, and who, will always be there for me. And when I'm down, they pick me up, and, when I'm up, they're with me and celebrating and supporting. And, your challenges are different as your company, as your brand grows. And now, aside from that, now that we're growing really big, it's okay, we need to find people to fill these positions so we can continue to scale up. So, but that's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have.
That's a good problem.
What is your grand vision for Kayla K?
I want Kayla K to be in closets all across the world. Not just one piece, not just two pieces, but I want women to continue to come back season after season because they understand, they appreciate, they identify, they see themselves in it, and they appreciate the quality and the story of the clothes. I want it to be easily accessible. Again, so I mentioned before, whether it's going to a store or us, doing regular pop-ups and trade shows and coming to a city often and frequently enough, and being able to work with women and other artisans, to infuse into the brand and support, other women as well.
So speaking about pop-ups and speaking about global brand, you've done some traveling recently.
Yeah.
The brand has gone places. Tell me about some of the recent things that you've done with the brand.
Wow, 2018 kicked off with a serious bang, coming off of 2017 where I resigned from my corporate job and putting...
Gosh, Catherine, it's literally been less than a year.
It has. The last time you came to see me,
I forget.
we were talking about it and you asked me, and I was telling my husband, I'm going to share the story, and I said to you, I don't know what I want to do, and you said, you can do it. You can do it. And I always remember that. I said, Nick, she said I can do it. I'm going to take a leap of faith because Sandra said she'll always buy my clothes. Sandra said if not for anything, she'll always...
customer.
She will always support me. But yeah, it's been almost a year. So I really got the business plan airtight, put a plan together, hired a brand manager who's been amazing, an amazing support system for me. And we said, what do we need to do in 2018 to roll this out for us to achieve a certain goal? And so in January, I started selling with a store in LA. So you can find my clothes at Katula in LA. Great girls. Started selling with them in LA. And that's been such a wonderful relationship going forward. And that started that thing for me where I want people to be able to have easy access to it. They can go to LA and just pick it up at the store. I also partnered with Rent, Rock, Repeat. Which is a store in Toronto. So that's 2 stores down. So we're trying to elevate and escalate and trying to hit Europe. So we went to LA, and then we did an event in Atlanta called Queens and Crowns. And what that was a celebration of femalehood. And what we were selling were my popular collars and head wrap sets. And those are, no one was doing collars and head wrap sets. Like I started that, and it's great that people even recognize the brand for that. So we had a whole event around that. And we had an artist come in and she showed them how to do really creative and fun head wraps, and they got to, have some drinks and some treats. And we moved that from Atlanta back to LA and had an event there. And then Dubai. Yeah, which was great. I know. Wow. I know. I've been wanting to get into that market for a long time. And why is because the women there, women everywhere, obviously fabulous and beautiful, but their aesthetic, their life's just a little bit different, right? So I've been wanting to show the brand there, to show that the brand really is global and can fit in just about anywhere where women are. And they love color and they love print there as well. So when this opportunity came, it was crazy because I literally had a week to put everything together. As things happen in life,
of course,
very often, right? You get that call and you need to be on and you need to get going and you need to, so it was a great experience. The most important thing I got out of that was the feedback. And I love to listen to customers and I love to listen to the women and feedback on, trends and colors and fabric and, touch and feel and things like that. But it was great, and we're looking to do there again, and we're going back to the States in a little bit, and we're in talks to do something in London.
I was going to mention London because I, along with the rest of the world, was glued to my television watching the recent royal wedding between Prince Harry and Meghan.
Yes.
And there was a Kaela Kay dress.
There it was on your screen. Yes.
How did that happen?
So the lovely lady who wore the dress, we're friends now, and hopefully she ends up becoming a long time Kayla K customer. She actually found me at Rent, Rock, Repeat. but she wanted to purchase something specific. So we connected, we worked something out, and I remember I believe her flight was maybe the Monday or the Tuesday or something, and she was by me on the Sunday to work that dress out, and thankfully it fit like a glove. Like there wasn't, any major adjustments that needed to go into that. So I knew she was going. I did know that, but as someone going to a wedding, whether she was gonna make it on TV or not, I didn't know, so I didn't want to get overly excited, and then, that didn't happen. So to me, it was just great meeting another woman who's supporting and who's wearing a Kayla K piece, and I treated her like I treat all my other customers, with open arms, welcome to my home, and it was great, and she's a great person. So I wasn't even looking for it to be on TV. If it did, great. If it didn't, great. I have a customer for life. And woke up that day, my phone's buzzing, things are happening on social media, and I'm like, what is going on? I know the wedding's happening, what's going on? And someone had posted it, that there's your dress. And she was walking down a hill or something, and someone got a really great shot of it, and she called me after and said, did you catch it here? I'm like, no, I caught it in that one place. But that one place was good enough for me. So yeah. And people messaging me saying, I saw a lady at the wedding wearing your dress. And for me, that is what meant so much, that people recognized that was a Kaela Kay dress.
I saw it and I knew. I was like, that's Catherine's dress.
Even people who aren't customers, but maybe who just follow me on social, somebody messaged me, and I hadn't spoken to her in years. And she said, oh my God, I just saw one of your dresses at the royal wedding. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't spoken to you in so long, but it's nice to know that through social media, somehow we're all still connected. And that was good. It was good.
And speaking of social media, because I know it's something that you use quite a bit, and it's been a great tool for you. How do you use social media for the brand? Like, what platforms are you on, and what have you seen in terms of getting the brand name out with social media?
Social media has been beyond amazing, right? So it's been a platform for me to showcase the brand. It's been a platform for me to showcase myself. And again, for people to really understand and get into the story, the brand, the purpose, our why, our how, and who my support team is, and who my little ones are, and being able to show that to really give them a full picture. We're mostly on Instagram and Facebook, because those two just really translate the best for us. We've gotten sales through Instagram, we've gotten sales through Facebook. Other platforms that didn't do so well, we minimized using it. But again, my brand manager is a whiz at putting together campaigns and monitoring the ebbs and flows and seeing, what posted well. And so then knowing that we should do more of those posts and times to post and what ad campaigns to do. And, so social media has been a lifesaver. I know some people sometimes say social media could be positive or could be negative, I guess. And I think it's a matter of how much of yourself you want to share, how much you're willing to share. At this point, the amount that I'm sharing, I don't mind sharing that much. Will it ever get to a point where I don't want to overshare? That's up to me to determine how much of myself I want to share. But I think, based on what people want to see and how much of me they want to see, so far it's working out really, really well. Instagram, if you're watching Instagram, folks, Facebook people, yeah.
You talked about support. And I think I would be a terrible person if I didn't ask you about the amazing support of your husband, because whenever I've come here, he's looking after the kids, so you can have time with me as your customer, and he's making the kids meals, and just an amazing. Tell me about him and his support and what that's meant to you.
Oh, I just got butterflies. So we're actually almost married now, almost 10 years. And it's been the most amazing 10 years of my life. And I always say to him, I can't believe we're almost married 10 years. We've been together longer than that. But like I said, he was really instrumental in saying to me, if this is what you want to do, I understand your vision. I see your vision. I'm with you on your vision. I've always supported you. I know this is not just making clothes for you. It's bigger than that, and you can take it beyond global. I support you. We'll do this together. Bills will be bills, money will be money. But aside from that, what story do you want to tell? What do you want your legacy to be? I'm going to support you in doing that. I don't know how many husbands would say that, but, when you're so nervous about taking such a leap that's going to affect your husband or going to affect your kids, you need that kind of support for someone to say to you, I'm supporting you and you'll be okay, just go ahead and do it. So it's great to hear him say that. He used to do this. He used to help me with my shipping and my packaging. Right? Yeah. Now, we have a system in place, but in the beginning when I started, he would help me with my shipping and my packaging. He used to do my accounting. He used to be my accountant and my bookkeeper. Now I officially have an accountant and a bookkeeper, so I've relieved him of those duties, but he's my ride or die, and we go everywhere together. He comes to all my shows. He travels with me to all my pop-ups. All the cities I just named, he's been with me. Because I'm a terrible traveler alone anyway, but knowing that I have my number one, my day one with me, it calms all nerves, all anxieties, and just love spending time with him. But if you don't mind me saying, aside from my husband, my mother, my mother-in-law, my best friend, my sister-in-laws are also extremely instrumental in supporting me to make sure that my day-to-day gets done. My mother, my mother-in-law take care of the kids during the day, so we don't have to worry about childcare. My sister-in-law watches them on the weekends if we need to. My best friend's my sounding board to make sure that I stay sane through all the upheaval and all the craziness that is Kayla K. So I've been very fortunate and very blessed that I've had these wonderful people in my life who see me for me, who understand what I'm doing, and who support that. So yeah, and the customers also who, I've met who share their personal Kayla K stories with me about, feeling a certain way when they wear the clothes or the customer service they received or they met me, how they felt. And all of that has really fallen into place for me the last little while.
And I'm one of those customers who, no, this is what I said to you one time, I remember, because I'm close enough that I can drive and, come pick up and whatever. But I said to you, sometimes even I'll come try it and then I'll say, I just wish you'd mail it to me. Because I just love that the packaging and opening it is just an amazing experience.
It's amazing how many emails, we do follow-ups with customers, obviously, how was your order, customer service and shipping, and they say your packaging is amazing. And I'm like, yeah, because from the time you order to when you call us with a question to when you receive the package, again, I want you to know this is Kayla K. So whenever you receive that package, you get excited because you're excited to open it and see what's inside it. It's all part of branding. It's all part of the customer service, all part of the experience.
Now you have 3 kids. We talked about your husband helping take care of the kids. What do you want, especially you have 2 daughters, what do you want your daughters in particular, and your son too, to learn from looking at you and what you're doing?
That's a great question. And of course, at the end of the day, I do it for them, right? And I really hope one of them takes on the helms of Kayla K as they get older.
I think Michaela's got style.
I think she does. And she's been doing some little arts and crafts here and there with glue and scissors, so she might be the one. But I want my girls to know that they can be themselves. And fashion's a great way to express it. And you don't have to blend in with the masses. And that is not a bad thing to stand out. Especially now, we're teaching trying to teach people being different is great. And that everything doesn't have to be hanging out for it to be sexy and beautiful. To always be classy, behave that way, let your personal style and your fashion sense, express that. And for all 3 of them, hard work, dedication, determination, and setting your mind to something and not wavering from it. If you make a decision, stick to it. If that's what you want to go for it. My new tagline on my personal Instagram page is that I'm a believer in the reality of dreams. Because I had a dream and I was able to, by divine intervention, support, and God, and a talent that God has given me, I was able to manifest that into a reality. Even times when I didn't think was going to be my reality, I've managed to do that. And so if you have a dream out there, go for it, cultivate it, and have fun doing it. Meet wonderful people, meet as many people as you can, be open, be outgoing, have a good time, because you just never know. You never know who you're going to meet, you never know who you're going to inspire, who's going to inspire you. So just be you, have fun, share a story, work hard, be dedicated. Everything on that wall of mine near my chandelier.
We'll have to take a picture on the wall so you can see what she's talking about. Yeah. Who inspires you?
Oh, wow. Women, mothers, daughters, girlfriends, friends, because I've been fortunate enough to have met so many of them, and we all have such wonderful stories and experiences to share. And it's great when they come up to me and they feel comfortable enough to share those stories and experiences and tell me how the clothes fit into that with them. So I'm inspired to continue to create for them so that they can continue to express themselves in a way that they see fitting. I'm inspired by my children, obviously, every day, to do the best and to be the best to me that I can for them. And of course, Oprah and Michelle Obama. Naturally, these two wonderful women who are, I'm sure, on a pedestal for many other women, looking up to them and the great things that they've done and the way they've always carried themselves and the goals that they've achieved.
What brings you joy?
Oh, wow. What brings me joy? My kids. My kids. As much as they drive me crazy some days. Well, you've met all of them, so you know it's a crazy house around here. My kids bring me joy.
It's crazy, but they're such sweet children.
They are. They're just really, they're excitable kids all the time, though, right? Which and they love to meet people. And they have no filter.
They're so friendly.
They are, and it's great. It's a party in our house all the time.
Every time, yeah.
From the time we wake up to when we go to sleep. My husband and I are literally on 100 all the time. But they obviously bring me great joy. And in terms of business, I feel at best when, without asking, somebody sends a message, a text, an email, or something. Because when we ship things out, we do have our phone number on there. So ironically, people tend to text it, thinking it might go somewhere, and actually does go somewhere to us. And they say, I received my dress. It's beautiful. The craftsmanship is great. Your customer service was wonderful. And I'm glad your company exists, and I'm going to shop from you more. And without us instigating it, And sometimes those things don't have to be public for people to even know that you're doing well. It shows in everything else that you're doing, but it's something I go to sleep with. It's like, okay, you know what? I had a great day because Sandra was happy today. She was happy with her experience in meeting me. She was happy with her experience in shopping with me. And, she likes our clothes enough where she'll come back again. Because she's now able to take that garment and use it to tell her story and add it to her life.
What are you afraid of?
Oof. I've done a few interviews. No one's ever asked me that question. And I always wish that somebody would.
Oh, really?
No, yeah. You know why? Because in interviews, people always focus on the great and the glamour and but they don't talk about, do you have any concerns or fears? What am I afraid of? I used to be afraid of failure. And talking to a lot of women I've spoken to, that seems to be like this general consensus, right? And it was a fear of failure because I was just starting and it was muddy and I was still figuring things out. My feet hadn't quite landed yet. Cast that aside now. Like that's, we're past that now. My biggest fear is not having enough time to do everything I need to do. And not having enough time to achieve everything I need to achieve, So sometimes I get crazy in trying to cram so much into my day or so much into my life, but then I have to pull it back too and go, you know what, you need to breathe. You need to breathe. You're not going anywhere. The brand's not going anywhere. There'll always be things to do. There'll always be people to meet, always be work to do. Pace it, plan it out, it'll get done.
And what's the best advice you've ever been given?
The best advice. If you don't know how to do it, hire somebody who does so that you can spend your time doing quality things, growing your business in other areas where it is your area of expertise. Because I used to do everything myself. One, not knowing people to fill in those spots, and two, because of cost. And so, you're an entrepreneur and you're like, I can do it. If I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, But, someone said, if that's not your area of expertise, hire somebody that is their expertise and let them elevate that part for you so you don't have to stress about that. And then you worry about being a boss lady. So that and everything always comes full circle. Everything always lands where it's supposed to be. So as much as you're in your day and you're in your head and you're stressing or, you're worrying about whatever, everything always settles by divine intervention, by God's intervention. Where you're supposed to be, you'll always be there. What you're supposed to do, you'll always do. Just be kind, be a good person, work hard, be open, be authentic, and everything else around you just falls into place.
That's incredible advice. I'm so happy.
I'm really happy.
I'm so happy, and I'm so happy as an outsider looking in who has had the opportunity to watch you grow, to watch this brand grow and the things that you're doing, to say, My friend Catherine, you're doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you, Sandra.
And I wish you continued success. And I'm just excited
Thank you.
to see where you're going to take this brand, because I know you're going to take it some pretty amazing places.
Thank you.
And I'm just grateful to be a customer. Keep taking my calls. I'm just happy that I have your direct line.
I was gonna say, you have me on speed dial. Whether it's messaging or calling, Sandra knows. I'm gonna pick up Sandra's call.
Yeah, I text you. I like this. What do you think about this?
And thank you, for being a customer. And we have a lot of great things planned, but I obviously couldn't share everything. I like for people to see things as opposed to saying things. And, so a lot of things we're going to be rolling out over this year and next year, part of the master plan. And but the basis of it, again, it's the women and the customers and, longevity and building relationships and making customers and people feel, they're not just customers, but they're part of my family and they're part of the brand and part of the story. So it all ties around that. We have a lot of great things planned coming up that I'm super excited about.
So speaking of which, where can people follow to find, A, to find the amazing clothes, Exhibit A, and B, just to follow what's going on, and where can people find you?
So on social media, they can find us on Instagram and Facebook, Kayla K Online.
Spell that in case people don't know how to spell it.
Oh, sure.
I will put links in the notes, but just in case, yeah.
KaelaKayonline, online. That's Instagram and for Facebook. And the website's kaelakay.com. And in terms of purchasing, they can purchase in LA at Kutula, Kutula. In Toronto, Run, Frock, Repeat, or they can book an appointment because I do provide custom consultation as well. So they can send an email to info@kaelakay.com. But yeah.
And in terms of shipping, do you ship everywhere in the world?
Girl, Timbuktu, everywhere in the world. And I'm so grateful that I've even had the opportunity to even go to the post office and say, hey, I'm shipping to this part of the world, Norway, Sweden, London, South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, you name it, we've probably shipped a package there. And so it's great again to see where all the Kayla K women are, and that it's just this global, representation of style. So
Catherine, it's been such a joy to spend time. I have one final question.
Okay, shoot.
So, Ndini is a word which in my mother tongue, Shona, means I am. And I so believe in the power of us determining our destiny by what we say about ourselves. So, I am. Finish that sentence for me. I am.
Oh, I am fiercely, wonderfully, and beautifully made. And in that, I'm going to continue to share myself with the world and be authentic. And through that, be a better representation for women for my brand.
You're awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I love you. I love you. I love you. And I love my dresses.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. This was so wonderful.
Yeah, it's so wonderful.
I know I'm like hijacking this because I'm like such a chatterbox.
No, it was so great. And you know what? I'm so grateful for you letting us take your house apart.
Please.
To set this up.
No.
What a joy. Thank you, Catherine. And I truly am so excited for you.
Thank you.
I see where this is going.
There's only one way to go. I came from this way, can't go back down that way. So I need to go up.
Thank you, Catherine.
Yes. Thank you. I told you I would talk a lot.
You're the best.